Good day, everyone. I am your reporter, REYJIN Larona, and we're about to discuss the poem entitled The Aeneid by Virgil book. First, we're about to tackle the author's background. Publius Virgilius Maro, or usually called Virgil or Virgil in English, was an ancient Roman poet of the Augustan period. He composed three of the most famous poems in Latin literature, the Eclogues, the Georgics, and the epic Aeneid. He was born on October 15 in 70s before Christ era in the farming village of Andes near Mantua in northern Italy. He was educated at Cremona, at Milan, and finally at Rome, acquiring a thorough knowledge of Greek and Roman authors, especially of the poets, and receiving a detailed training in rhetoric and philosophy. Virgil's earliest work was the Eclogues, written between 42 and 37 BC. Was Edmund Spencer's constant inspiration for the fanciful beauty of the Fairy Queen. The Aeneid was the model for John Milton's Paradise Lost, not only in epic structure and machinery, but also in style and diction. Chapter 2. Background of the work. The book Aeneid is a Latin epic poem from about 30 to 19 BCE by the Roman poet Virgil, composed in hexameters and about 60 lines written, of which were left unfinished at his death. The Aeneid incorporates the various legends of Aeneas and makes him the founder of Roman greatness. The Aeneid influenced the English literature. It showed that an epic poem could express a people's values and glorify its history. Many writers used Aeneid as the remodel. Writing the Aeneid, Virgil consciously competed against Homer, for he was composing what he hoped would become the national poem of the Roman people, just as the Homeric epics were of such special significance to the Greeks. Chapter 3. Reading the poem, and Chapter 4. What does every stanza convey? In this part, I will show you the short clip of the poem The Aeneid by Virgil, Book 2.
In Book 2 of the Aeneid, Aeneas tells Dido of the destruction of Troy. The narrative flashes back to where the Greeks, then at war with Troy, have apparently sailed away, leaving behind a giant horse. Laocoon, priest of Neptune, fears that the horse is a trap and attacks it. A Greek prisoner boy, Sinon, explains that the horse is an offering for Greek offenses against the goddess Pallas Athena, referred to as Minerva, and that a prophecy indicated Troy will invade Greece if they bring the horse into the city. Serpents then appear and kill Laocoon, a warning sign that Minerva is offended. The Trojans, incorrectly interpreting the serpents as a sign that Sinon is wrong about the horse being dangerous, bring the horse to Minerva's temple, right in the heart of Troy. Sure enough, it's a now infamous Greek trick, and the Greek ships return in the night. The horse is full of hidden Trojan warriors who pour out and open the gates to the Greek army. The ghost of Hector alerts Aeneas that Troy is falling, urging him to leave. Aeneas roams the city and kills many Greeks, ending up at the palace where he witnesses the death of King Priam. Suddenly, Aeneas remembers his own father, as well as his wife and son. His mother Venus appears, bidding him to flee Troy with his family, whom she has protected. All the gods are against Troy now. At first, Aeneas' father, Anchises, refuses to leave, but two signs change his mind. A crack of thunder crashes to the left of them, and a star shoots down, persuading Anchises that he should follow his son out of Troy. Carrying his father and holding his son's hand, Aeneas runs to escape the city. His wife, Creusa, follows behind. When they arrive at their meeting spot, Aeneas realizes Creusa has been lost in the confusion. He returns to the burning city to find her, but her ghost appears to him. It is her fate never to leave Troy, but Aeneas will find a new queen in Hesperia, which will eventually become Italy.
Chapter 5. Who is the speaker of the poem? From the beginning, we can clearly see or identify who is the speaker of the poem. It's none other than Aeneas itself. He narrates the story behind the fall of Troy and his succeeding wanderings. Chapter 6. What is the tone and mood of the poem? The tone of the poem is serious and ironic. Despite the hope it expresses for the future, the Aeneid is also very focused on the transitory nature of human affairs. In keeping with the emphasis and with its subject matter of struggle and warfare, the tone of the Aeneid is generally serious and dignified. And the mood of the poem is when treating the glory of Rome, the epic is solemn and honorific. When Virgil depicts the victims of history, those who suffered in the course of the founding of Rome, like Dido, his tone is tragic and sympathetic. Chapter 7. Style of the author. Here's the figures of speech the author uses on the poem. Simile. As when fire attacks a wheat field, when the south wind rages, or the rushing torrent from a mountain stream covers the fields, drowns the ripe crops, the labor of oxen, and brings down the trees headlong. And the days shivered, unaware, here's the echo from a high rocky peak. These are the symbols that used by the author. First is fire. Fire symbolizes unbridled energy for good or ill. It symbolizes both destruction and inspiration. It physically destroys Troy and damages the Trojan ships in Sicily, and figuratively used to describe the fury of battle that obscure even Aeneas' rational thinking and mercy. Second is snake or the serpent. It signifies death and destruction. These are the imagery used in the poem. First, the sea god Neptune sends a couple of giant serpents to devour the high priest Laocoon and his sons. Second, build a horse of mountain size through Pralia's divine art and weave planks of fear over its ribs. Chapter 8. The conflict. The conflict present in this literary piece is man versus fate. Though Aeneas is commanded by fate, he had no choice but to follow his destiny because he was commanded by fate, and prophesied to found a race that will one day build Rome. All of the happenings in his life in Book 2 was his destiny. From the beginning, he was fated to travel from the ruins of Troy to Italy, where he will establish a race that will lead to the founding of Rome. Chapter 9. The themes. So what are the themes present in the poem? Fate is one of the major themes of the epic poem The Aeneid, governing the whole epic as well as the whole life of the protagonist, which is Aeneas. His determination to lay the foundation of his son and generations to come is to be fulfilled at every cost. Chapter 10. Cultural implications. The truth of the poem that projects in the society and community is that the hero Aeneas deliberately embodies the Roman ideals of loyalty to the state, devotion to the family, and reverence for the gods. The author Virgil believed that these virtues would help secure Rome's place in history. So that's all for today. Thank you.